Welcome to Lesson 2, Getting to Know the Workspace. You'll notice that the CS4 Photoshop workspace looks a little bit different than the previous versions. And what I'm going to do in this lesson is just review with you some of the differences so that you can get a really good, comfortable feeling with working with the lesson files in this book. Now, first of all, you'll notice that I have opened PS0201, and this file is located in your PS02 lessons files. So I have this open on the screen. You'll see the toolbar down the left. You'll see something new, which is called an application bar across the top. And then, of course, you've got your menu items and then your options bars. Now, you'll also notice that there's a panel docking area off to the right. And then here's my tool panels that can be displayed either as a single column or a double column. And when I'm working in this, you'll also notice that some of these tools have little hidden tools within them. And you can tell these tools because they have the little arrow down in the lower right. So for instance, if I click on the lasso tool and hold, I can access the polygonal tool or the magnetic lasso tool. Now, these tools, I'm going to put it back into single column, are divided into different categories to help you to find the tools you need when you need them. This first category is the selection, cropping, and measuring tools. The second category is the retouching and painting tools. The third category are the drawing and type tools. And then, of course, the fourth category are the new 3D tools and some navigation tools. Now, I'm going to go ahead and select the blur tool and then select the smudge tool that's underneath. Now, notice when I select this tool that my options appear differently here than they did with the lasso tool. So let me go back. And now I can access a brush because perhaps I want to change my brush size as I'm smudging, or I can access the blending mode or the strength of this particular brush. But I'm going to just choose from this drop-down menu 100, and you'll notice that when I come out here and start clicking, that it's smudging it. Now, other things just to notice, let's say that I want to zoom in as I'm working on this. I can, of course, use the View menu, which gives you zoom in, zoom out, fit on the screen, actual pixels, but I can also use keyboard shortcuts to easily get around in here. Like, for instance, Control plus 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 or minus minus minus. I can also use my Zoom tool, but notice that when I use my Zoom tool, I don't just click, but I click and drag and create a marquee. And when I click and drag to create a marquee, boom, it zooms in exactly to the area that I need. And then, of course, I can zoom out quickly by doing Control 0, which is fit in screen. Now, some other things just to note, I can also work in here by just simply changing my workspace. Like, for instance, if I press F, you'll see that I'm cycled through different views. This is my presentation mode, back to just my regular mode. And then I've got my expanded mode here where I'm seeing gray that's covering the whole entire desktop area and everything, which is actually very helpful, especially if you have applications that are showing through and you want to focus directly in Photoshop. Hitting F again cycles me through. Now, other things that can help you while you're working, notice that when I press the Tab key, the panels and the tool panel disappear. When I press Tab again, they come back. Shift Tab, just the panels off to the right disappear. Shift Tab, and they come back again. Now, an interesting thing to note is this. If I press Tab and I just cross over where the Tools panel was, you'll notice that it appears. I can pick the tool I want, and then I can go back to work. If I cross over to the right and I just kind of pause here for a minute, you'll notice that the panels appear again. Cross out, and they go away. So again, you can work really neatly in here. I'm going to press Tab again. Now, other things that I can do, let's say that I want to open up another image. I will choose File, Browse and Bridge, open up a second image, and notice how in Windows Vista, everything is tabbing here. Now, you might not see this on the Mac OS. It depends on how your preferences are set up, but you'll notice that when I work in here, let's say that I want to, let me get out of there. Let's say that I want to see these as floating windows. Couple things that you can do. One is you can simply click and drag to float a window, or you can drag it back up to drop it back in. Now, notice that when I drag this out and I try to put it back in, you'll see it highlights in here so that I can see that I am tabbing it to the other window. What I can also do is take advantage of the Arrange Documents icon up in the new application bar and simply choose to up if I want to see both at the same time. Or I can choose that I want to float on windows. So it depends on how you work and what you want to do. Now the other thing I just want to show you are some of these panels and how they work. And yes, they are finally called panels, no longer palettes. And let's say that I want to access one that I don't see right off the bat here. I can choose Window, Navigator. It comes up with this panel. And just to show you additional ways to navigate around, you'll notice I can zoom in or out. Using this panel, I can even hold down my Control or my Command key and click and drag to control the zoom. Now the reason I brought this panel out is so that I can show you how to dock a panel as well. First of all, let's say that I want to keep this out here all the time. If I grab the Navigator panel by the tab and drag it out, I can keep it out here so that I can access it whenever I want and yet still close by clicking on the arrows the other panels that are out there. If I want to tap this in to the docking panel with the other panels, I can click and drag across and dock it in here. Now let's say that you create a custom view or you create how you want your panels to look. Maybe swatches are important to me, so I drag them out. I can easily come in here and choose Window, Workspace, and say that I want to save this workspace. And maybe this is a swatches workspace or for color or whatever it may be, and click on Save. And now anytime I want to access this, I can just choose Workspace, Swatches. Let me go back to the Essentials. There you go. Workspace, Swatches. And voila, my workspace back again.